those learning skills were the ones that always killed me. I always like
Yeah.
had a plan for like a month before report cards were due that like I would write one child's learning skills every day kind of thing.
Yeah.
I'd cross it off and mark them off that
I
way.
know. I always thought that learning skills were almost half the report card, right?
Mm-hmm.
I
Writing.
would
Yeah.
totally agree with that.
Yeah.
Yeah. They're a lot.
Math,
Yeah.
when I got really into math, that started consuming a lot of my time as well.
Mm-hmm.
But like not just because I changed the way I did my comments, and then
Yeah.
that was very personal too. So, but I was super proud of them.
Yeah. Yes, exactly.
Mhm.
Yeah, Kate, I agree. Like as far as working at school, I was never really great about that, other than like I could put input marks kind of piece.
Yeah. Mm-hmm.
Or maybe draft a comment to put in my library, but I would never trust myself to like tag things to put them into the comments.
Mm-hmm.
I needed to have a clear zone. No distractions.
Mm-hmm. My house was never cleaner. I'll say that.
Yes,
During report
I think
card
so.
time.
Yeah. Yeah. I agree, Heather. There's been like we waited to have those statements to go put on the report cards, but then like now to find them all, to sort through it. Yeah, that memo was a little hard to navigate to put in those comments.
Yeah.
Okay, so I wonder if we should sort of get started here. Sally, what do you think?
Yeah, I think so. So for those of you that just joined, this is just a thing that we thought might be fun for your class. We have Karen Dargetz-Wu joining us today, and she's going to be talking about Bitmoji or virtual classrooms. And so we thought, well, this would be a good start off to kind of give you an idea of what we might be talking about today. And so we thought this is just when you have the students joining and you know you're waiting for everybody to get there, it's a nice thing to have on the screen for the students, something they could do and try and find all the little different things. And we were saying if you had Bitmojis from your students of themselves, you could embed those into the image. Kind of fun thing for students to be able to do while they're waiting for the Google Meet to start. Okay, let's see if I can change slides now, Kate. I don't know. There we go. Okay, so yeah, this is just like we have this up every day when we start, just because we think like working together and sharing and getting ideas is the way to go. It makes our life so much easier. I wish I had known this when I first started teaching. Like I was so, I don't know, I was so insecure in my abilities as a teacher. I'm like, what? They're giving me a classroom. What am I doing here? And I didn't really talk to people a lot. And I wish I had talked more to people about like what I should be doing, because my life would have been so much easier.
Yeah,
and now,
exactly.
like I just can't get enough of like connecting with other people for their ideas, because it just makes life easier. Here's our joke, one of our jokes for the day.
I thought this was cute. I keep getting those things on my phone where it's like, and your screen time is up like 4 hours since last week. And I'm like, oh man, remember when that used to be like an hour?
Yeah, I don't like that message.
No.
I feel like there's something wrong with me.
Yeah.
Well, maybe there is.
We're all on that boat.
Okay, let's go to the next one. Okay, we got one more. I feel like this could happen in September.
Yeah. So this is kind of our welcome slide too, right? So welcome back to Junior Office Hour. You're here with Sally Parkinson and myself, Kate Allison. We're both instructional coaches, and Pam Gallant is here too, and she's here to help us with the report card section if we have any questions on that. I think that's all we have for this slide. Yep. So we're going to go ahead with the territorial land acknowledgement. This is a picture that I took from the Wawanosh wetlands. This is the picture that I took from the Wawanosh wetlands, which is really near my house, and I go there quite a bit. And actually I was looking at this picture, and it must be super dated because it doesn't look like that anymore. It's way more tree line established, and really nice walkways around there. It's beautiful. I go there all the time with my dogs. It's lovely. But so if I can read the land acknowledgement now. We'd like to acknowledge that the land on which we operate our daily work activities and the place we call home is part of the traditional territory of the Chippewa, Odawa, Potawatomi, and Delaware nations. And I will say I tried to research why it was called Wawanosh, and I could not find anything. It was really, I know, I wish that I could find more information about that, but I couldn't find that. But
So Kate,
yes.
this is Pam speaking. My video is really choppy, people, so that's why I'm not showing myself today. But I found some research on, you know how Ontario has yellow brick houses?
Yeah.
And that's really a unique thing to Ontario.
Mm-hmm.
Like if you go outside of Ontario, you don't see many yellow brick houses because it's what type of soil that's used to make the brick. And I found out that there was around Petrolia, there was a spot, and I think around the Wawanosh area, there was some like lime deposits of soil that was taken and was made to make into the brick. And it came from that area. That's why we have like a lot in the Petrolia area and in this area.
Interesting. That is pretty neat.
Yeah.
Thanks, Pam. So having said that, we would just like to think about the reasons why we talk about the land acknowledgement, and we feel like we have to acknowledge and recognize the current heightened situation being experienced in the United States over this past week.
Yeah, our hearts go out to the family of George Floyd, as it does to all Black people and those who experience oppression. The United States is not alone in dealing with oppression. Discriminatory thinking and actions exist in all countries, and ours isn't excluded from that statement. We as teachers are fortunate to be in the position where we have an opportunity to make change for the better.
So we wanted to take a moment to discuss this because if we're silent and if we don't take action, then we're just giving permission for this discrimination to continue.
So just as many of you have taken on the calls to action from the Truth and Reconciliation Commission, we encourage you to take a moment to consider how you can use your position as a teacher to make change. And when you think about that, and you come up with ways that you can as a teacher make that change, we're asking you to act on it.
And you know, we don't have the answers. There's not just one answer to this problem and the situation, but we're happy to discuss what we know and where we can point you, and if we all work together, we can find a way that we can bring this up with our students and each other.
Thanks, Kate.
So having said all that, we just wanted to move on with our regular program here, which is our chat from last week, which was about virtual manipulatives. And you can find that on the Blogspot, which will link you to the remote learning webpage. And then in there, you can click around. It's really easy to navigate and find all the little clips, videos, which are generally about a minute or two, to recap what we talked about last week. And it's also on any of these media platforms.
Yeah, that was it. I love the learning from you last week on that sharing out of that manipulative board. I think
it's awesome. Really, yeah. It was a great tool. Yeah.
Yeah. So we are going to start this week with the spotlight on the teacher. So last week we'd normally do the new tool first and then the spotlight on teacher. So we're going to switch that up because this teacher that's sharing today is also going to be supporting us with this new tool. So we're going to do a kind of combined, and then we're going to talk about demonstration summary videos, and then hot topics. That's where we've invited Pam to come and join us today to be able to talk about report cards at that time. So Kate's going to introduce our teacher.
Yep, sorry, just give me a second. So this week we have Karen Degartswu, and she is a teacher at Sir John Moore. I think she has 5-6. And She's actually a friend of mine too, and of Sally's. I think Sally's her coach too. Are you? And she's doing some awesome things in her classroom. And I know when I shared some stuff before from others teachers that she had some input on that too. So I know she's doing some great stuff. So thanks, Karen, for coming.
Yeah. So Karen's going to share with us about her Bitmoji. Karen, you want to try and turn on your mic there and say hi?
Yeah, it's on. Hi.
Hello, thanks for joining us. I'm going to scroll through your slides here, and I'm just going to give you a chance to talk about them. And then once we're done scrolling through, then if you could walk us through how you created your virtual classroom.
Okay, I'll see what I can do.
Okay, here's the first one.
Okay, so I don't know, a few weeks back now, I got an invite to join a Facebook group, which was called Bitmoji Craze for Educators. And I looked at what people were doing on there, and I was like, oh my God, I don't know how many hours they're spending on this. And it took me a few days to get into it. But once I started, it's a little bit addictive, and yeah, it really is fun. So this was one of the first ones that I made that I sent out to my class, and just trying to recreate a little bit of a classroom. But I was really proud of myself for putting pictures of the class on the wall and trying to make it seem a little bit, you know, like what maybe our classroom would have looked like.
Yeah, I think that's awesome. They can actually see themselves there in the pictures and things they've done in the class.
Yeah, just a little reminder of what we were like when we were together.
Yeah.
So this one I had put together, it was one of the art projects that I had sent them virtually, which was just a YouTube video, but it was something that I normally do in my class anyway. So the ones that did it, I put their work up on a board so that they could share it just like we would do if we were in the classroom.
Yeah, and like they get a real audience for their work, right? So it's nice they can show it to others.
Karen, can I just ask you a question? Did you did you use Bitmoji? Like, had you created yourself before you started this classroom part?
I only created myself when our whole staff did for one of our Facebook posts.
Oh, okay.
So I was not using my Bitmoji as a regular thing.
Oh, okay. Like on your phone, you mean, or something like that?
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah, I made it once quarantine started. I made a Bitmoji because everybody else was good.
This is somebody's asking, is that Mike Creeley eye lesson? Her kids love trying that and surprise themselves. Kate, can you hear her? Because I'm
No.
Okay, she was cutting up there.
Yeah, she was cutting up.
I'm just gonna say that like that art is incredible. I don't know if anybody else caught what she said. I didn't catch it, but sounds like it is a Facebook or like a post from YouTube that she's probably shared with her class to create this so that they can create their drawings. Like this art is like what we learned in grade 9. It's incredible. Like look at the shading in it and like looks so real. They're incredible.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, somebody else is saying they couldn't hear you.
Oh, Karen, we still can't hear you.
Oh, there, I can hear you now.
Okay. Okay, good. I can hear you guys. This was, I always start the week with a journal, so I like to switch up what's in my classroom. I change the pictures on the wall. I change the things around. I just got a cat last week, so I started putting pictures of the cat in.
Cute.
So
I like to try to be funny, so my speech bubbles, you know. Whether it works, I don't know.
it's funny. It's good.
It is good.
This picture of your cat, is that your actual cat?
My actual cat looks almost exactly like that, but that was not mine. That was a picture I found on the web.
Okay. I was curious because I'm like, how did she get that all cut out? That's incredible.
Oh, but I do know how to do that. I can teach you. So this is the Bitmojis of my students. There's only about half a class here so far. I have this grand plan that I'm going to make them a class picture of our virtual class. So I asked them if they were able to use the Bitmoji app to create one of themselves in a nice standing position and in a silly position.
Yeah, and
so
we
this is
had that
obviously the
one
silly
there.
one.
I don't know where it's gone to. We had a class, a picture. Did you see it, Kate?
Yeah, I remember seeing it.
Yeah, that's odd that it's not
Although
there.
this is really funny because all their personalities come out, right? And they pick the one that most emphasize. I just think that's super cute.
Yeah, so the other picture had them lined up like on the top and on the bottom, showing showing that they're like they would for a class picture. Is kind of neat.
So Karen, have you shown this to your class yet, or is this like something you're working on for the end of year thing?
Yeah, something that I'm working on. So
Oh, okay.
they haven't seen it. They've only seen their own.
Okay, so they've only seen their own.
Yeah, she's cutting in and out.
I know. Karen, are you inside or outside?
Karen, can't make out anything that you're saying.
Maybe what we can do is have her dial in to the meeting. Let me see if I can get that information. I'll put it in the chat if I can get it. Just give me a minute.
Okay, Karen.
Heard that.
Somebody's asking, is that cheap rural Wi-Fi? Yeah, like I thought it was my Wi-Fi at first when I heard that, because that happens a lot here. So
Karen
Karen
lives in a suburb.
yeah, so he's gonna send you some information in the chat there so that you can join in and connect online, connect through the phone. So then you're going to be able to talk and we can hear you well. So I'm gonna just I'm gonna just read this slide and we'll talk about. Looks like, so it's, you can still see it's her regular classroom there with the pictures, but then she has like her Monday morning tasks. Looks like they're talking about volume of a box, and is kind of giving them a reminder to go to somewhere.
So it looks to me like you use this Bitmoji classroom sort of as like your everyday, like they come and they look at it and see something.
Yeah, it looks like announcement. Like it's her
announcement.
Say,
Okay,
like,
yeah.
here's what we're gonna do, kind of thing.
Right.
And I love how she's making it like themed from the day, right?
Yeah.
So, and it looks like she's having a lot of fun jumping out of that box there.
Yeah.
I'm gonna go to the next slide. So she sent out this one. It looks like it was National Paper Airplane Day, and so she was giving them a math task connected to paper airplanes. So I'm gonna just go ahead and go through the slides, and then hopefully we'll hear her join on in a minute. So here's, it looks like the students maybe added to a slide deck that she had, because these were slides that we imported into our slides, and the kids made their own Bitmoji, added them to their page, and then had to throw their airplane and then measure to see how far. And I thought it was interesting how Odin timed here, how long it took for his airplane to fly that far. And I think, like, I know Odin, and I think that would, a great extension for Odin would be like, well, how far did it go in 1 second, right? I think that that would be a great activity for an extension here. Here's Pages. She's showing how far. I like how they're able to show their airplanes and like makes it just like they're in the classroom.
Yeah, there's some neat math that's going on here.
Yeah.
I think hopefully when Karen comes back, we can answer that question about how they're getting, she's getting their Bitmojis. I've got that on the back burner, so.
Oh, you're here, Karen?
I'm not sure. Hang on.
Yeah, she's here.
She's not sure.
Karen?
Hang on.
It's telling her to oh, she's connecting.
I don't know how to. Almost there.
Yeah, okay. You keep going and we'll look at this. So here's a video of Ethan flying his. I'm going to see if I can play it while we're waiting. And that went really far. I feel like he was probably the winner there of the class for distance. You can see that he made a fancy airplane there with different weighting around on the airplane. So I wonder if he Googled that up. Let's go to the next slide. Oh, there it is. I don't know how I got it out of order because I thought they were together. Yes, so that's what they are getting. She's getting them ready for their year-end class photo with their Bitmojis, which
Yeah,
I
that's
Okay,
really
can you hear
cute.
me now?
yes, I
Yes.
can hear you. Awesome.
Okay, I'm on my phone.
Okay.
Good.
We just need you to mute on your Zoom now. Just
Oh, I
press the
thought I
mute.
did. Okay. Oh, there we go.
Perfect.
Okay. Thanks for walking me through that, Rod.
You're welcome.
That's good that way. So Karen, while you're doing that, we just talked about your slides and the things that you've done with your class and shared it. Is there anything you wanted to add about the airplanes?
Just the airplanes, I was so impressed by them that they stuck their own Bitmojis into that. I didn't ask them to do that. They came up with it on their own, and then a bunch of them started doing it. It was the cutest thing. It made me giggle when I saw it.
Aw. So
Yeah.
did they send it to you in a slide?
Those ones, yeah, the airplanes they had sent to me, but these ones in the class photo, they have sent them to me in a slide, and I just copy and paste them in. And sometimes I have to remove the background depending on what they've done. So I've found a handy little website for doing that.
Oh, neat. Okay, yeah, we might have to get you to share that too. So Karen, did they just use like a web app to do their Bitmoji on then?
It's the Bitmoji app that's for tablets. Well, I'm not sure if it's tablets, iPads, and iPhones anyway.
Mm-hmm.
And if they did not have it, I was able to do it on my iPad and share my screen with them while I was presenting. And it was really, really slow and painful, but we got through it, and I've done at least 3 students that way.
Awesome.
Huh.
Yeah.
That sounds easy enough.
So you created your own Bitmoji then the same way, like you created on your iPhone or on your tablet, and then to get them into the slides, we're gonna have you walk us through that. So I'm just gonna escape out of here for a second, and I'm gonna take us to a blank slide. So what we're hoping you could do, Karen, is just tell us how you go about making that background, and then how you start building like your virtual classroom.
Okay,
Okay.
I can do that. Okay.
So you start on a Google slide deck, right?
Yeah. Are you putting one up? Because I can't see one if you are.
Oh, you can't see my screen?
No.
All right, Kate, can you?
Yep, I can see it.
Okay. Okay, so your internet must just be going bad. Sorry, Karen.
Yeah.
You're
That's
gonna have
okay.
to
I'm
do
working
this.
blind.
Yep, you're going in there. We'll help
All right.
you.
That's
So
okay.
we've got
I've got my laptop open so I can kind of work through it that way too.
Okay, perfect.
Okay, so in the taskbar there's one that says background, and if you click on that, it will ask you to choose an image and Google image search. And then depending on what look you're going for, if you want a room, like a classroom, you have to type in wall and floor.
Okay. Wall.
And then it will give you that perspective of the, of a room, of a wall.
Oh, there we go. Yeah, we got some. Kate, which one do you like?
The brick one's fun.
Down here or
Yeah.
right here?
Yeah, that one.
This one?
No, up.
This one?
Yeah, that one, yeah. Oh my gosh, you're
Decision.
choosing.
Okay, so we've got that. We've clicked it and we click insert and then done. So now we have that as our background. And like if I slide my hand around here, like I click and press, nothing happens. That's like set in there. That's the background. There's nothing to do unless you go and rechange it, you click a new one, right?
Yeah, exactly. That's your background, and you can use it on, you can have it go into all of your slides that you want to use, or just change it up every time.
Okay, so we got the background. Oh, I have a list of stuff I want, so I'm hoping you can help me because I want to start getting another one set up. So I want a chair. Now what should I do?
You will go to Insert, Image,
Okay.
and now searching the web would be great if you're just making this from scratch, but if you did have a chair that you have in your house that you wanted to include in, you could take a picture of that. I mean, I don't have a lot of experience with that, but it would work.
Okay.
So for now, search the web.
Okay. And is there anything special we need to type in there when we're searching?
Well, if you could try something like office chair, and then you need to type transparent background. And that will make, that will help to get you something that is just a chair and not a big white block around it.
Okay.
Hopefully. It doesn't always work.
Well, let's click this one and we'll see if it works here. Insert. So just click insert and we have a chair.
And often when I'm doing that, if I see 2 or 3 that I like, I'll click on all of them and it will insert all 3 at the same time. And then I can see which one fits the best. Okay,
and then we can also we can double click or right click, and then we can change the picture. We can flip it vertically or horizontally. I don't want to flip upside down. I want to flip it not vertically. I would want to go with horizontally, right?
Well,
Here,
yeah, horizontal. There you go.
Okay, then I would like a television. So same deal.
Same deal.
Search,
insert, yeah, search from the web, TV, transparent background.
Oh, look at that old computer there. Okay, I'm gonna go with that one. Insert. Okay. And then you just keep going, right? And so one common thing that I'm seeing in other classrooms are bookshelves.
Yes, same thing. You could search for a bookshelf. I think I looked once, but the one that I found was very animated, so I haven't used it a lot.
Oh, you need transparent.
Yep.
Yep.
And it needs to be empty. I don't want one with books all on it.
Oh, maybe just try shelf. Oh, there you go.
Okay, got some bookshelves on the wall. Okay, so let's say that this was what we want and that's our background. Now what do we do?
Would you like to put yourself in it?
Yes.
Okay, so I see you already have the Bitmoji Chrome extension added up there on your...
I'm just gonna go here so that everybody can see how you do that. So you just would Google the Bitmoji extension Chrome, right?
Yep.
And then you click on it. And then see how mine says remove from Chrome's, because I already have it there, because I actually made one for you guys for a different thing. And then, but if I had come to this, it wouldn't say remove. It would say, like if I was just coming to this person, it would say add to your, and so you just click it and then it's there, right? It's that easy. So I'm gonna close that and here we go. So you just click on that up in your toolbars there then. And
yep, and then you can search for whatever type of pose you want. I don't know if you want your person to be standing or sitting in the chair.
So if I type stand.
So something I have learned is that if you want just a nice standing position, you need to type the word pose.
Type pose, stand pose?
Yes.
Oh, okay.
Just pose, no stand.
Oh. Pose.
That
Oh,
is
yeah,
good to
lots of poses.
know. Oh, that's a good trick.
Yeah.
That's a good one.
Okay.
Thanks for sharing that.
So I like this one right here, Karen.
Yep, looks good. So you can drag it onto your slide or you can copy and paste.
Okay, so just click and drag.
Yep.
Okay, there we go. Okay.
It looks awesome.
That's
Thanks.
super easy, right?
Okay, now what do we do?
What else would you like in your room? You can fill
Okay.
it with.
So this is what I was thinking. I want this to be like the standard. Like I always want it to be this way. So once I have it set like this, like I can save this, right? So I could go to File, and then I can download. I can either do that JPEG or that PNG, right? So I'm gonna click that, and you'll see that it downloads. It says Junior Connect 8. So what I'm thinking is that if I don't want students to be able to move stuff around, like say I invite them to come into the slides and they're going to be doing work and I want them to move it around, I can just set the background. Because right now, if anybody came in, they could move some of that stuff, right? And so if I go into add blank, then I can insert an image from my computer. And this would be Junior Connect.
You can maybe go to recent at the top.
There we go. But that's not, that still can be moved. That's not what I want. I want to set it as the background.
So that's not the way that I've been doing it, even though I know that you can. I was following this Facebook group. I was taught a different way. So
Okay.
I have a slideshow where I make all of my slides, and then I can go back and grab the ones that I just want to redo, like if I want to change the message on the board. And I basically take a screenshot of the ones when I'm happy with them and stick them into a new slideshow. So it's one big picture that can't be moved.
Yeah, that's easy. So just take a, so if I were over here and I wanted it like this, I would just take the screenshot and then it would be set. They can't change any of that background that's been set.
Yeah, because it's just a picture at that point and not individual pieces.
That's right. Okay. So now we've got this background and like you can see there's nothing there, nothing can be moved. So the classroom is kind of set. And so you've created a whole slide deck of those so that you can just pull whenever you want. That's a great idea.
Yeah.
Okay. Does anybody have any questions for Karen?
There's nothing in the chat yet. A couple of people have been sharing some things just because they've fooled around with this program too. Gwendolyn's asking, if you put it in as a screenshot, how do you then make it clickable or editable, edit the pictures? I don't think that you can. I think once you, is that right? Like I think that background, and if you want to have things to click, I think she means click to link, like hyperlink.
Yes. So something else that I have not tried yet that I heard is that once you have it set, and if you have links in it, what you can do is put a large rectangle over your entire screen and make it transparent. So it's covering everything, so there's not individual pieces that they can move, but when if you scroll over the hyperlink, it will still show up that that's a link.
Whoa. So Karen, when we get to that point, because we're going to show, like talk about linking in here, when we get to that point, I want you to walk us through that again. Okay. Like tell us what to do. Okay.
Yeah.
I will try. I haven't actually done it yet. So
I can understand what Karen's saying now that she said that. I just want to share in the chat that people are talking about, I think there's a lot of, because I think people mostly use Bitmoji Classrooms for adding the links to stuff. And Karen hasn't used hers that she's shown today like that, but I think Sally's going to show how to do that.
Okay. Karen, thank you.
Yeah.
Oh, go ahead, Karen.
Sorry, I just wanted to, I see that Pam has added in there the remove BG, the remove background.
Yes,
that's
keep going it on.
Yeah, that's the free website where you can upload a picture, and it will take out the background. So if you end up with a white block around it, it will take that out and it'll just be whatever it is you want. I don't know how it does it. It's amazing.
Yeah, so it's really quick. We found that from our kindergarten Bitmoji fans from yesterday. So yeah, any image you have, so like if you have your own personal image and you've got like the icky background and behind, you just put it, you just go to remove BG online, upload an image from your device, and then it just takes a few minutes to cook, and then you get it, just the image of the person that's left there, and then you download that.
Okay,
Yep.
that's a great tip. Because Karen, you could totally put your real cat in by using that.
Yes. Yeah.
I could.
Yeah.
And I have done it many times with the Bitmojis that the students have sent me, because they always seem to come with a really large box around them, like that has all the controls for making it larger or rotating it. So I've been cutting them down so that they're narrower and skinnier so that I can grab the exact person when I want to move them around.
Ah, sweet.
That's
That
a
is
good tip.
I agree with Derek there.
I think there is something too about, like, you know, most pictures we look at are JPEGs. I don't know what it means, but I think the PNG, the ping ending, has something to do with the backgrounds too. So that might help you.
Good to know.
Okay. So, so thank you, Karen. Not only were the teacher in Spotlight, but you're introducing us to this background Bitmoji stuff. So we're going to go on to just talking about how to add in the links then. So thank you so much, Karen. I appreciate you joining us and helping us out.
Yeah, Karen, lots of great tips. Awesome.
So many. Yeah.
Okay, thanks, guys.
Okay, so this is a virtual field day. Like, so you know how we have like play day, or we have like the older kids do like activities, and it's like actually track and field too, right? So this is kind of like an activity I was thinking that you could do with your families or just your students. Like anybody could join in if you posted this. So all it is like the background, but if you click on one of the icons, it will take you to the actual activity.
All right, time for the challenges. This first one is the towel flip challenge. All you're gonna need for this is a towel. You're just gonna lay it flat on the ground like so.
So all of these videos that he creates, they just basically, like I've linked them all in here to different activities. So there's a water bottle flip, there's a trick shot with the paper, there's a shoe balancing activity, there's a water bottle trap, there's an airplane like landing in a certain area. So if students were to just come to this page, all they'd have to do is click on one of these little activities, and then they would be directed right to like the activities for the field day. So our background's set, but there's only certain things that you can click on that will actually bring you to the sites.
All right, so the last challenge for
actually really good activities. So if you see if I clicked, so it changed me pages, but the background isn't changeable. So then I was like, well, if they were actually going to play it like a game, and then students were going to add in, here's a background that's all set up. Students can't change this if they touched it, but there is one on the next page where you can, so you could change it. So these two that I have here are kind of the set backgrounds, but they don't have the links. So like Karen was showing us, like all you have to do is like Google up the like insert. So if I wanted to insert the image and search the web for the, let's see, paper ball, I just did that, and then I found one, I clicked it. Oh, I got to insert, sorry.
You can also just double click if you want.
Okay, thanks. So then put it where you want, and then once you have that, then you can take a link and add it to it. So you would see how this hyperlink is there. All you have to do is insert the link. I'm gonna go here and take off this link off YouTube. So I'm control C, I'm copying it. I go back, I click on that, and then I insert the link. and just paste it and then apply. And then when the student clicks on it, there it is. Actually, that's Ethan. I copied the wrong one. So I was copying Ethan's video. So it would just take you directly to the activity by just clicking on the link. Right? So if I wanted to go back to this classroom that I was setting up, and I was thinking today about like kind of our introduction there and thinking about like ways to make change, and I was thinking, you know what, I know of a lot of sites that could help us with making change. So I pulled some up, and this one here is great. It talks about what, like, all the different things around bullying, and it's Canadian. So I was thinking, well, I could just copy that if I wanted to add it to, say, the TV. Oh, I don't have it. This is background. So if I have to insert an image, search the web, and I want to do a book. Oh, I need to type transparent. Yep, you're right. Click, double click works, Kate. Actually, where'd it go? There it is. So then just resize it, put it up on our bookshelf, and then click on the link. And there, that site is linked there. So I was looking for some sites I have, so I'm going to finish that later, and then I'll put it in our show notes. So then there's some links to some good topics that would help. Like this one is great here, Safe at School, and it talks about like a lot of challenges that are faced and how teachers can address them and support students and developing their thinking around that. Okay, so let's go back to the slide. So that's it. Is there any questions about that, Kate? How to insert?
Someone did say can you repeat it? I'm not really sure what part you want to repeat. And can you send this out to us?
Yes. So I'm thinking the repeat part is probably how to insert the links, right?
I think so.
It's okay. She did redo it. Okay. Yeah. So I did it twice. Okay. Yeah. Thanks. Thanks. I'm not sure who that is. Duncan. Diane, maybe. Okay. Yeah. So I think the virtual field day is kind of a fun thing. And I've got these also in the show notes. So what you can do is you can take out our Bitmojis and insert your own. Create your virtual background. Then all you would have to go is go to this one and click the background and choose your screenshot like Karen suggested. And then it would just fill in the background and all the links are already there for you. Mm-hmm. Yeah, so
the
this
chat
one's
is
editable and this one's editable. You can take that person out and you can even edit these little words here if you wanted to put in different activities. And then save the background and then just replace it in the other, on the one that has the links.
Sorry, I was just going to add that like Mike Adam is talking about how using this platform is kind of helping to engage the kids in the last few weeks of school.
Yeah.
He's talking about like school announcements this way, and kids are, they're looking forward to end of school presentations, and I know some schools are doing talent shows and things like that. So not that you need to use it like that, but there's some ideas floating around in the chat room.
Yeah, so many ideas, so many things you can do. And I've heard of teachers like reading aloud and recording it and then put in the link so the students can hear the chapter of the book they're reading or whatever it might be.
Yeah, I think that's great.
You can put your math manipulatives code in there, so then all they type in is the code, and then it's going to give them the math board that they need to work on for the day. Okay, so let's move on then. I think, are we ready, Kate, to move on?
Yes, yeah, for sure.
Okay.
We can move on here. Yeah, I'm just looking at the time, I guess. Kind of fell away. I was like entranced. So we have been showing a variety of videos over the past few weeks, just because we know that's a way that we're listening to kids and we're talking to kids and they're talking back to us. So this week's video is demonstration video. And they're about 90 seconds in length, and we thought they would be good for the student perspective, actually demonstrating back to the teacher something they know. So this is my daughter making a cake for my kids' birthdays.
First, I'm pouring in cake mix. Next, I'm adding water. Now I'm pouring in oil. Add 3 eggs. Mix. I'm pouring half the batter into this pan. And half the batter into this pan. Then put them in the oven for 25 to 30 minutes. Finally, ice the cake.
So we thought this would be good. We were kind of thinking about some ideas why kids would make a demonstration video, and it could be sort of a jump off for procedure writing, or have them do this and then write about it. This one was obviously filmed. I filmed it, but the next one we're going to show you is just one that was filmed on Seesaw. And because Seesaw has got that on Seesaw, you can't see because of the way I put it. I did put it in clips, but it is it's all done on Seesaw. I had to have a way to get it to you guys. But it's got tools in there so that the kids can just record, and it's really important when they're demoing. You get a lot out of it if they're actually narrating what they're doing, and also showing you with their pen.
Sorry, so Kate, you're saying that like if you sent this to a child on Seesaw, they can just record and like their voice and demo with their pen, and then that goes directly to the teacher. Like there's nothing really the student has to do other than like, submit.
Yep, and if you're familiar with Seesaw, you probably know that tool, and you can't see, this is all done on Seesaw. You just can't see the menu. There's a menu on the right with the different slides. This was a slide that he had to answer, and then on the left are all the tools. So there's a pen tool, a recording tool, a picture tool, and so he was just using the recording tool so that it records your voice and it records your annotation.
Okay, I'm gonna press play then. Thanks. Yeah. Oh, I'm gonna try. There we go.
5 plus 6 is 11. Then you write down the copy the rest, and then you figure out this question over here. And 7 plus 4 equals 11 equals 11.
So I was just going to say, it is interesting though, even though he's doing a demonstration, and you do get a lot out of this, you could use this for assessment, or to see how they're, understanding the concept that you're trying to teach. But at the same time, like he was sort of motioning like this when he said, you have to figure this part out. He was doing that with his pen, and I could see, but as a teacher, you can't. And so I would then ask him, how did you know it was 7, right? It sort of leads you into giving some good feedback and probing a bit more into understanding. He did have a neat strategy when I asked him, how did you know it was 7? But, as a teacher, that's something that I would ask.
Yeah, and you think that video is going to give you the most, but like it doesn't replace, right? It doesn't replace those questions that we would ask. So that would be a good one to just send back. Like, could you just voice back in the feed? Like I know Pam was talking about this before. You just voice back the feedback and say like, well, how did you know that it was 7? And then you would get further information. Diane is asking in the thing, so some of our students have an iPad or a laptop. Can you tell us what other kids could use to do it? So
if they don't have an iPad or laptop?
So my students might have an iPad or a laptop. So if they had an iPad or a laptop, they could do Seesaw, right? iPad, they could do Seesaw and do what your son showed, right?
Yep, this was done on an iPad Seesaw.
Yeah. So the other thing is, like, if you don't have Seesaw, right, the students could just like literally record themselves drawing on a piece of paper, or they could swipe down and do that screen record, right? And they could do, like, if they had this image of the whiteboard and they were drawing on top of it using markup, they could just screen record that, right, with the voice.
Yep, so you could take a picture and then you can edit and then screen record. You could do it that way. And then we've also shared some whiteboard tools that are online that kids could go to, and then just use that if if there was a question you wanted them to answer, right?
Yeah, and she's saying screen record baking cake. So yeah, no, that couldn't happen.
Yeah.
So that might be a scenario where, like, if somebody in the house has a cell phone, they could record, right? They could do something like that.
That's what I did. It was on my phone.
Was it?
I just thought it was two different ways of having demonstration back to the teacher. So sometimes it's their own recording and sometimes it's someone else helping them out.
Yeah. Yeah.
And the next slide gives you a little bit of a breakdown on what demonstration videos are. So I think if you click, Sally, then they pop up.
Yeah, so it's less than 90 seconds, typically.
Yep. And because it's a long time, right? Sometimes kids go on, but they don't.
Yeah.
And we're talking more about the process, right? So it's very raw, like the video, even though I put it in clips, that was just to add that music element, just to sort of make it a little more enticing. So I did add that little piece, but that was all I added. And then, like I said, adding that narration part to it.
Yeah. Okay, thanks, Kate.
Yep, no problem.
So now we have time for report card. I think we should start off with report card. We have 10 minutes, so that's perfect. So if we could start off with any questions about report cards for Pam, if you want to type them in the chat, or if you just want to unmute, that would be a great way to ask her. I know everybody's heavy into writing report cards right now, so I'm curious to see what the questions are.
Mm-hmm.
Maybe there's none.
Heather started off the conversation talking about those statements that kind of help us ground ourselves in the report cards. Some of the last memo that came out about report cards, there were a couple of statements there about, identifying that we're doing this reporting in the time where we're doing remote learning, and what do we put if we have an I that we want to record. So all of those have been made for us. So that's been helpful.
Mm-hmm.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, I think that some of the difficulties too are in those sort of outlier students that come late to your classroom, or maybe registered but haven't come to remote learning. And Pam, would you say that's a conversation that principals have to have between schools, or is it like, should the teacher be trying to reach out to her principal and figure out who their previous teacher is? Or
yes, your principal can help you out with that. So if you received a student midterm and you don't know much about them, contact your principal, and principals know this, and so they will be contacting the former school's principal so they can get some information for you. I see some people talking about narrative and persuasive. We know that the amount of information that you've gathered about a student learning is very different than any other year or any time that you would have had. Mm-hmm. So it's our professional judgment to determine what is it that we have to put in writing to tell the story of that student's assessment for writing. And we have the writing framework that helps guide us through those different formats of writing throughout the year, and it helps us have those professional conversations between each other, and it helps us make sure that we're exposing students to different types of writing. But you have professional judgment about what evidence you're using to talk about writing. So if you have information about persuasive that you found that is supporting the students telling the story about their writing, that's your professional judgment to go about and use that. just be thinking, what is key learning that the students has done? What have they done successfully? And what's next for them? You can refer to something that's next in the curriculum. So it would be like, maybe you want to talk about, next time they write narrative, they can use some of that expressive language. So you can use it that way. So again, our professional gut judgment will guide a lot about what we put on these report cards. And Gwendolyn, you have a comment there about where we put that comment. I believe the first comment is to go into the language box. I feel like I should go back and reread the memo now, but I think it goes, sorry, not in the language box. I think it goes in the learning skills box. But I'll have to go back and reread that memo because there's information about where it goes. Anybody help me out on that? Memorize
I do think
the memo?
it's the learning skills box too. I want to say that I read that.
I'm going to hop over to look at that and see.
Hi, Pam. I just brought it up. We just clarified too. That was a good question. It's Deanna. And
Hi,
so,
Deanna. How are you?
hi. So all report cards, including our communication of learning, the following statement will be in the board use section. And that is, this report card is for a reporting period that included provincially mandated school closure. I'm not sure if that's the one you're referring to, Gwen, but that will be put on more centrally by the board, so you don't have to worry about that statement and where it goes because it's there.
Oh, so you don't have to manually put that in then.
That is my understanding from our
Okay.
principal's
that-
meeting.
Well, that's a good question because I was like, oh, well, I don't know how that's going to happen. Let's see. There's some kind of magic with technology. With that.
Yes, there's a board section and that's where it will go, and that was from I believe Ben. So I hope right.
Yeah, sounds good to me. Yeah, that's good.
Yeah, Janice saying that they were told that they didn't have to add it.
Okay, good. Thank you.
Yeah.
Oh, and she already put it in her learning skills. Shoot.
I hate when you have to go back and delete things.
I know.
Yeah. I don't know if it would be a problem if it's there twice. Yeah. We'll get back to, yeah, we have to, that might be something we could tweet out or something like that. We'll find the answer exactly and we can tweet it out and share it on our Instagram or that sort of pieces so we can clarify about that.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I should say, like, I'm over here humming and hawing, but I'm just reading the chat room. And I guess if your chat isn't open, then maybe you're not sure, but we're still talking about, some people have written the learning skills, written that statement in the learning skill already. And so now if the board's going to input one automatically, there'll be two different ones there. But they might both be appropriate.
I think it's definitely going to be in that. Like, I remember reading that. I thought we were talking about something different, but I remember that it was saying it was going to be in the board issued area. There was going to be a comment that this reporting period is for based on this time period, like with COVID. So that definitely will be, they'll be putting in there. And so like Jana's saying, she also put in the learning skills and the principal said it's fine to leave it there. I think that really depends on your principal, right? Like principal may say, well, it's already there once, take it out. Other ones say like, it's fine. So I think it's kind of clarify with your principal. I would think that would be.
And I think if, you know, as families read the report cards too, they will read the learning skill box.
Yeah.
Like, right, they may miss some information up on the top, but I think you're right, whatever way you do it.
Yeah, challenge, right? The whole report card is a challenge this time. And I think it's not going to look the same because it's not the same. And that's
right. Exactly
hard, right? And
because we have that balance between professional responsibility and professional judgment. And so like what the professional responsibility is, we complete report cards and we input marks and we have comments about that. But the professional responsibility part is, the professional side is that we want to really reflect what students have learned and, you know, what's next for them in their learning. I'm on my remote learning thing. Somebody's knocking on my door. So then, you
one
know,
more
you have
question.
to then just, so then you have to make that decision, be okay with, we're not going to have the volume of assessment material that we normally have.
Right.
Yeah.
And
And
there's a
that,
question
that's a
there.
tension that we're feeling.
Gwendolyn's saying she's wondering if she can just put that statement once at the top of language and once at the top of math, because it sounds to me like it's subject specific. I think that that would be appropriate because you wouldn't have any room to type anything else.
Right, exactly. Yes, it only needs to be there once. It's the I statement. So if there's insufficient evidence piece, that will be basically, then that would vary between your content areas.
Can I just chime in for 1 second? It's not the
Mhm.
I statement I'm referring to. It's the one that I pasted the clip out of the memo above.
Yeah.
It's when there's talking about the kids who some participated in online learning, and I'm assessing that, and some who didn't. And so there's that differentiation between the kids who did, there's one statement, the kids who didn't, there's a different statement. And so by putting it in the language section, because language and math are the focus for most kids, then I'm just saying I don't want to have to put it twice because there's hardly any, enough room sometimes. So I just wanted to make sure that putting it once in the language spot was good.
I see. Yeah.
That's more than fine. Yeah, I would just clarify that with your principal, and just to make sure that you're having that statement, that's an email fire off, and just say, this is my plan. If there's something different, please let me know. But you're right. Like the more you write it, the more like, parents don't need to read it twice. They get it when they read it the first time.
If I could chip in just a bit on the whole report card thing. So if hello everyone, if you have questions, just like at any time at any year that you were writing a report card, ask your principal, because it's your principal ultimately who has to sign off on them and make that decision. So if it's about an I, if it's about a statement, and then the principal may end up coming to me or Ben about that question, and that helps Ben and I know what sort of the general public needs, the information that they need, and we can disperse that out at Coffee and Colleagues when we meet with the principals twice a week. So, but if all else fails, like ask the principal. They're the ones that are gonna, in the end, say yes or no to it anyway. So check with them.
Right. Just want to say thanks to Karen again for joining us, and
thanks, Karen.
Rod for the background. I know we got to go, but again, there's the it says bit.ly math images. It was from one long time ago, but we've added our show notes from every session, so we'll be adding a little bit more today, but there is some stuff already there ready for you. Thanks for joining us.
Thanks everyone.
Thanks,
Sorry to
everybody.
give you the boot. That was some awesome stuff from Karen early on. It was well worth the time.
Yeah.
I'll get the recording up soon, okay?
Okay, thank you. Bye,
See y'all
everyone.
later.
Bye, everyone.
Bye.